Welcome back to LimQ Plus, everyone. On this channel, I'm 100%ing Breath of the Wild by a bit every day until Tears of the Kingdom comes out, which is today in 17 days. I want to talk about nighttime in Tears of the Kingdom today, which fits perfectly as it's nighttime in my game. I will be refighting the Blights to reach the final trial and wrap up this playthrough soon here. So you'll just be seeing me doing some combat as I discuss what I think is actually really interesting about the game and something that we haven't really seen much at all about yet. Now, recently it's kind of come to my attention and to many other people's attention that the themes of sun and moon are actually quite strong in Tears of the Kingdom. Not only do we see Zelda stand in front of these two wheels that kind of turn opposite directions, one of them depicting a sun, another one looking more like a moon. The Blood Moon themes are obviously very strong this time. We might learn about the origin of the Blood Moon, and it seems to me there's this sort of duality between the sun and the moon, light and dark. In fact, Hylia has always been talked about, or oftentimes been talked about, as a sun goddess, or the sun that represents the goddess. And people have even went as far as to say it looks like that our two important characters, good characters from the past, the ancient Zelda and the ancient Dragon Man, lovely by Monster Maze referred to as Richard, seem to be kind of holding the two aspects of the sun, time and light. The sun basically emitting its light and its movement making time pass. Now, this made me realize that we haven't actually seen much of Tears of the Kingdom's nighttime shots at all. The only shots that we've really gotten of it come from the trailer from the February Direct, where we see thunderstorms at nighttime and Link kind of riding around in close to Hyrule Castle in one of these shots. Also, this refight here is kind of boring. You basically just spam arrows. We haven't really seen much nighttime shots. I'm pretty sure in Breath of the Wild's original marketing there were not too many nighttime shots either. But it does kind of make me think, like, if we do have this duality, what will change in the nighttime in Tears of the Kingdom this time? Obviously, in Breath of the Wild we have things like Stal enemies that are spawning at night. Nighttime in general is a little bit harder to maneuver around in. Because those style enemies can be pretty annoying, especially in speedruns. Nighttime can be really annoying because these style enemies tend to spawn around Korok seeds. They have like specific spawns where they're more likely, and they can definitely make life annoying to you. But now, where Ganon seems to have at least partially overpowered Hyrule, I think nighttime and daytime changes might be even more drastic than before. I've already talked about the fact that some of the big skeletons in Hyrule seem to be missing, which I think is super interesting, especially the one at the bottom, the swamp, which kind of reminds me of the Star-Lord enemy from Twilight Princess. We haven't really seen the great Gerudo skeleton. That one is gone too, so if these enemies suddenly start roaming around at nighttime, that could be incredibly scary. And then in general, with the theme of sun and moon and the theme of day and night, Breath of the Wild already had a bunch of different puzzles that were essentially featured around being in certain areas at the right time, if you remember, right? Some shrines have you show up at night, like the Calm Urok Shrine, which is pretty close to Kakariko. You have to shoot this cursed statue at night. Another one, the Barida Nag Shrine at Rito Village. You have to shoot fire on a platform pretty close to noon because the sun is kind of throwing a heart. There's a shadow basically that makes it look like there's a heart on the platform. You probably know what I'm talking about. I could actually show it to you here as I'm at this Divine Beast anyway. And I believe it might even go further than that. In Breath of the Wild, it was mostly shrines, right? Shrines who were only accessible, or at least activatable at night or daytime at specific times. I think gameplay elements in Tears of the Kingdom could take that even further, where specific content is only really a thing at night. I think at nighttime, hell will break loose in Tears of the Kingdom. It was already very scary to explore the world at nighttime in this game with Star enemies running around, but since Ganon already seems to have such a big influence on the kingdom with the Malice Holes, which are causing all sorts of disasters like sinkholes and whirlpools and just chaos in general. Oh, here's Revali. I will let him take the spotlight for a second.
Revali's Gale should be more efficient than ever.
Probably my favorite voice acting, by the way, in the entire game in English.
As you are, I guess it's theoretically possible for you to
it's so good.
Ganon.
Ah man, I know people hate Rivali's attitude, but that's why the voice acting is so good, because he sells it so well. Sean Chiplock, I actually met Sean Chiplock at a speedrunning event before, and he's really friendly and nice. So there's that little story. I was at the GDQ, the Games Done Quick speedrunning event, and I remember running into him with, who was with me there? I think Linkus7, another Zelda creator and speedrunner, was there too. Was Smallland there too?
Urbosa's fury
At that
is
event?
ready.
I think so. I somehow remember that. Does that make sense? I'm not sure for certain. I definitely was at the GDQ event with Smallland before, but I remember running into Sean Chiplock. Zand was definitely there, another Breath of the Wild speedrunner. Because he was actually meant to, this is a little backstory, I'm kind of spiraling away from Tears of the Kingdom, but he was meant to be the donation reader for the Breath of the Wild any % speedrun in 2019 in the summer, which is one that I commentated. Let me double check if this is correct. Yes, I was commentating it. Something happened at the end of the day that he couldn't do it, which I was still a little bit suspect about. I was actually wondering to this day if maybe Nintendo had said something. We know Nintendo's decision making, right? Maybe to this day I'm still thinking Nintendo was like, oh, speed running? No, we don't want to be involved with that. Which is sad because Sean seemed incredibly nice. I don't know if this is what actually happened. We will never know. But it was cool running into him. Anyway, Nighttime and Tears of the Kingdom. I kind of wrapped that up already. I think it's going to be a much bigger change this time, and things will go wild. Like, it will be chaotic. Ganondorf already has such a big control over the entire kingdom this time, not just the castle. And if then also nighttime happens, and imagine a blood moon actually happening in game, I think all hell will break loose, and I can't wait to see more nighttime shots and events that transpire at nighttime. I think it's something that I started thinking about more. Let me know if you already have some ideas how this could actually play out in game. But because I already kind of spiraled away from Tears of the Kingdom and theory stuff, I will actually be focusing, because I'm sure some of you already know that this right here, not me failing the wind bomb, but this fight right here is horrible. It's much worse in Master Mode, but it still isn't great in normal mode. I will probably try and explain you the strategies that I usually use to do this refight relatively efficiently in the DLC, but I'm sure I will fail because it's been a while that I've done it. But still, let me go ahead and explain to you how I usually refight Waterblade Ganon. Urbosa's Fury is our best friend here, and there's another small mechanic that actually helps us do a lot of damage. And I will again show you what I mean specifically. Blah, blah, blah. Got this big cutscene, and then again. So basically what makes this fight annoying is, and in Master Mode is much worse because Waterblade can recover HP, right? But what makes this fight annoying is that you have very bad gear compared to the other refights, plus the fact that Waterblade is very damage-based, especially in Phase 2. What basically decides whether he's gonna get up or not from the ground is how much damage you deal. If you deal too much damage, he will go back up. So let's start. The best way to start here is by doing a Flurry Rush, which you wanna jump relatively late for. Then go ahead, do the Flurry Rush. You will be kind of stunned. And then a charge attack together with Urbosa's Fury is gonna allow me to break Phase 1. I will need the other two uses of Urbosa's Fury in Phase 2, which is the hard part. And again, what makes this fight even more annoying is actually the bow that the game gives you, which is going to be the Silver Bow. An incredibly weak bow. So we're gonna start off by building a Cryonis block. Use bullet time to get him away from the ceiling. And I actually messed it up. I was gonna try and position below him, do another headshot, which would have then allowed me to deal some damage. But I think I should be okay. I need to do one headshot here. And now he should be down. Now I need to try and charge up Urbosa's Fury. Nice. So this was what I was meant to do in phase 1. I messed up my positioning a little bit, but you know what? That was good enough for me on this specific episode. A little bit of a explanation of what we're going to be doing the next days. Tomorrow, I will be defeating the final one of these boss fights, which is Fireblight, probably the easiest one. We will then get the opportunity to go into the final trial, but I first will collect some more arrows. I will probably just go ahead and kill some Guardians to make a bunch of Ancient Arrows, because I want to show you, specifically in one episode, one of the coolest skips in the game, which is the final trial skip. Not going to explain it too much yet. That's probably not going to be in tomorrow's episode, but the episode after, when Tears of the Kingdom is 15 days away. And then, all the way until the final day, I will probably be doing shrines, some random stuff in the game, talk about Tears of the Kingdom and other stuff. And on the final day, I will also get memories. And on the final day, we're going to watch the final memory and then go beat Ganon one more time after getting the Zonai Ruins location, which is the final one, right? And we'll then beat the game and get the good ending. And then we'll play Tears of the Kingdom. Well, not on this channel. People keep asking sometimes what I do with this channel after I'm done with the countdown.
Strong.
Sorry, Mipha.
So much stronger than before.
Lovely.
The power of Mipha's grace will now recharge much faster.
Thank you so much.
As powerful as you are, I am certain you can save Hyrule, as well as the princess who awaits you.
Thankful that you think so, Mipha. But I will be using this channel for basically update type videos. So if there's new speedrunning tricks that I think could be useful for people to learn, and again, this will be later into the game. I'll probably start with like, oh wow, okay, that was like a cool opening. Good job, Kaz. Wait, we need to chill here for a second because he is serving right now, as they like to say. Ooh, amazing. Yeah, I will be making update videos. Like here, this is a really good spot to farm this powerful item. Here's a trick to get a lot of arrows, rupees, like videos like that with explanations, maybe small little tricks and glitches if they're found and if they're useful. Of course, nobody's going to force you to use them. And then eventually later on, I will talk about speedrunning discoveries and the development of the speedrun, where on my main channel, I will be doing fully commentated speedruns, explaining everything. There's going to be an all shrines run on my main channel soon without any loads. That's going to focus on explaining you the entire game of my favorite speedrun before we go over to Tears of the Kingdom. But all of that out of the way, thank you for watching. Tears of the Kingdom is out in 17 days, at least for me, by the time you see this video. And I hope you enjoy your week. We're getting super close to release now. Thank you for watching one more time, and peace.